Hello, and welcome back to the WhiskAYE Podcast after a potentially long hiatus. We had the whiskey, we were just useless.
Yes, also, same story every time.
Yeah, as with everyone, when anything goes wrong right now, blame the Rona. So, this is what we're now May. This is February's box. So we're only 3 months behind.
I feel like we could just say that we like aged whiskey, so we leave it a bit.
We're just leaving it in a glass bottle to get better, a plastic bottle to get better aged. Yeah,
yeah, that's how it works. We know whiskey.
Yeah, the February box from Dram Team, as always, is Scotch Heavyweights, which the title card has a blurb which says, "In this box, we enter into the heavyweight division of Scotch with 6 whopping whiskies, all weighing in at 50% or more ABV. Extra strength means extra flavour, so buckle in for a seriously tasty time on this heavy-duty dram-based exploration. And be sure to have a water dropper in your corner." Well, I've got water. I don't have a dropper. We'll work it out if I need it.
Do you get a dropper at any point?
I was going to buy one, but there was no interesting ones. Remember, there was just
I got the one. Gardner MacPhail, Anna.
I didn't want to be a copycat, so.
Yeah, Sarah wouldn't like that.
Got to be an independent person in that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going in with the first whiskey, which is the Boutique Whiskey Co. Glendullan Batch 5, aged 7 years. Glendullan is rarely released as a single malt, though it did recently feature as House Tully in Diageo's Game of Thrones collection, and has previously been bottled under their Singleton brand. The distillery's long fermentation and slow distillation produces spirit with a green, grassy character, which is on show in this youthful indie release from Boutique. So, it says the nose should be grassy malt, sharp apple sweetness, and aromatic oak.
Yeah, it's definitely very fresh smelling, like freshly cut grass or.
Pour mine.
It's definitely it's like like green wood.
Yeah.
That kind of smell. It's definitely very fresh.
I'm having a Josh problem.
You can't open these. Ever since they're on the new bottles, I've been able to open them.
My bottle hasn't had the perforations put in, so.
All right, sure it done. It's always the world conspiring against you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was the thing with those old bottles was like the serrations or the grip was so fine it just like lacerated my poor southern hands.
There we go. I've got a crack on it.
I'm not southern England, but I am southern compared to my fellow co-presenters, so hence.
If you couldn't tell from accents.
Well, when we're international, don't forget. So
yeah. I've actually just had to burst it off with my thumbnail to get open. There we go.
Go on, then. I'm going to go in for
clear this spirit, isn't it?
It is. It suits the kind of the fresh smell as well, if you know what I mean.
Since we're on lockdown and it's a weekend, I'm going to go for the whole lot.
Oh, you're going for the... Wow. I'm kind of tempted to do the same, but it's been a while since I've had any whiskey, so we'll see how we go. If I really like it, I can always top myself back up.
Well, it does have a very sort of...
It's very appealing, that.
Fresh scent.
I'm going to go in for a flavour, so what should I be tasting?
It should be tasting blueberry and lemon peel arriving at first, followed by digestive biscuit and honey, and then in the finish, a citrus blossom, black pepper, and more grassy malt.
So it's citrusy to begin.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how blueberries, to be honest. I get what they mean by, they say digestives. It's like very biscuity, that kind of like...
digestive biscuit.
Yeah, that... I want to think of a word different to biscuity, but it is just biscuity. Yeah. Not just digestives, but, that kind of generic biscuit flavour.
Yeah.
And then citrusy on the end. There's a little bit of spiciness, pepperiness.
Yeah, black pepper is what they say.
Yeah, that's very good, that. I like that.
Yeah. It's quite bright, is what I would say. All the flavours are like... There's not really any of the creaminess you sometimes get with whiskey.
Yeah, if you've got a heavy sherried whiskey on one end of the spectrum, this is fairly up the other end. That's very nice. That's easy drinking, that is, as well. Yeah.
Considering it's at 51.7%.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous, actually. I'd have put that in the 40s. If you gave it me blindfolded and said, is this like a cask strength one almost, I'd have said no.
I mean, I'd say 51.7 probably falls pretty close to the cask strength. If you hear me make a sharp intake of breath at any point, it's because I cut my thumb open on a salt grinder yesterday. It got caught in the mechanism somehow. So if I get whiskey in it, it's probably it's a plastic one. It just came with it.
All right, okay.
It's like the salt was purchased, sea salt with a.
Yeah, I know which ones you mean.
And it's cracked, so I had to hold it on whilst I use it, and then my thumb got it.
Flesh got pinched.
Yeah, it was excellent because it just got salt straight in it. So that's what you want with wounds.
Yeah, keeps it fresh.
It's good for it. To be fair, it'll stop it from getting infected, but it hurts. I was going to say some other words, but yeah,
you're very tough. So
yeah, that's it. Literally hard as nails. So hard that a plastic salt grinder can cut me open.
Yeah. Well, it can grind salt, and salt's pretty hard.
To an extent, yeah.
I wouldn't call it soft.
No. Wouldn't say it was like diamond, but...
No. Okay. So you're salt tough.
That actually sounds pretty tough when you say it.
Yeah, you're as hard as salt. Yeah. If people have got wounds and they go up against you, it's going to sting.
Mm. If you're injured, I'll batter you.
Well, no, you might not win, but you'll add more pain.
Yeah.
So I've put for the tasting notes for this one, very fresh on the nose and palate, citrus to begin, biscuitiness, and then mild spice to end / pepperiness.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
So it's got like a medium length finish.
Medium length finish.
Yeah. Like it's not like gone immediately, but it's also not there for ages afterwards. Like I don't feel the need to really palate cleanse after that.
Mm-hmm. And what score would you give that?
I'm feeling generous, so I'll probably give that like a 4.
4. I really like that.
Super interesting, but it's drinkable. It's like you would happily have 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah, I could go to a whiskey bar and have a couple of those. If I had it, in fact, I'm gonna finish off the bottle. I liked it enough to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe so I'm just trying to also desperately racking my brains to remember if we put the cards in the video when we score it or when we introduce it. I'm pretty sure it's when we introduce it.
Probably. You're the editor
the score on the cards. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It has been a while.
Obviously, we watch our videos back loads and loads, so you will know it off by heart.
Yeah, obviously. I think it's when we introduce it and we just accept that our score is not what people are like sat on the edge of the seat waiting for.
No. Maybe one day when we refine this and we get a set and this is our actual job, we'll change it up. But for now,
one day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it takes me best part of 3 months to do the cards now. If I had to do 2 sets of cards, one with a score, it'd be.
Yeah, I'm not doubling your workload like that. Not until it pays. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea as well that it'd be a doubled workload, not just the same card but with an extra box added.
Yeah, maybe if we're doing that, we'd invest in something more than paint to make it easier as well.
Yeah, I was looking at options earlier that I can get for free, but I probably.
You've got to finish the logo as well. We're waffling already. We're trying to keep it tight.
If we did buy another program, I would easily finish the logo. I know what I want to do in my head. I've drawn it in by hand, but that's not a digital logo. So
no, unfortunately not. Right, let's get on to the next one. Let's keep it tight, professional.
Tight.
This one is Wolfburn Langskip. I've got a joke about this, Milburn. Yeah.
Wonder.
You'll like this one.
Yeah.
Wolfburn. Isn't that what your name would be if you were a werewolf? Oh.
Yeah. You've been playing too much Skyrim recently.
I have actually been playing quite a bit of Skyrim.
Lockdown life.
Yeah.
Living La Vida lockdown.
Yeah, if you like, what? I suppose cheap lager and not taking any walks anywhere.
Yeah. This is the life for you.
Yeah. So this is the Wolfburn Langskip. A very old distillery, both founded and then closed in the 17th century. Wolfburn was rebuilt in 2012. Located in Furlough, it is the most northerly distillery on the Scottish mainland. This hefty release is matured only in ex-bourbon casks and is surprisingly smooth sipping for the strength. Oh, like the last one then. The strength of this one is 58%, so slightly stronger, about 6-7% stronger than the last one. So on the nose, we should have aromas of fruit blossom meld with dried apples and light oak. In the background, you'll find traces of raisins and dates mixed with rich fruit cake. That sounds very sherry to say it's bourbon. And I'm guessing you've already got in for a taste, but flavors burst onto the palate, rich and sweet, including maple syrup, dark chocolate, almonds, and raisins. With the finish lingering nicely, hints of vanilla gently fade away, with a warming trace of caramel at the end. Also, mine's just spinning the lid.
Yeah, that's what my last one did. Yeah, that's. You need to like find where the gap between the lid and
I'll make a gap. So, going for a taste, cover for me, make it seamless.
Yeah, so you say aromas of fruit, which I can sort of get. It smells kind of like you'd expect a sherry whiskey to smell, to be honest.
Yeah, it sounded it from the description.
So flavors.
Blooming thing. Flavors burst onto the palate, rich and sweet, maple syrup, dark chocolate, almonds, and raisins.
That is very nice.
Don't rub it in. I can't open it.
It's got sort of a
take a key to it.
Oily vanilla sort of back end to it.
Right.
I suppose that's what they mean with like hints of vanilla and caramel, like that kind of flavor. But it's like very smooth. Like there's no really strong flavors in it. So yeah, the dark chocolates and the maple syrups and almonds and that, they're all kind of I mean, dark chocolate's quite a strong bitter flavor. I would say it's closer to it's a low cocoa dark chocolate, but
so it's quite smooth then. I'll let you know once I can get in.
I mean, have you got your pliers out?
No, but I'm tempted. But it's not that. It's just the fact that it won't separate from the lower bit.
Yeah, you need to find like one of the little bits, and once you can pop it, you just bend it off. But
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Apologies for our technical difficulties. Obviously, any of our listeners, the flow is impeded, but you know,
bear with us.
No real complaints. This is one of the first boxes back after the new bottling operations, so I'm not complaining.
No,
to the Dram team.
No. I'm not complaining. Just got to find a way in. It's making me work for my prize, that's all.
Yeah, it's worth it. Another one which, you wouldn't say was nearly 60% proof.
I literally cannot get anything into the gap is the problem.
Have you cracked it yet?
I
just ripped the lid off.
I just used raw brute strength.
Yeah. That's it, brute force intimidation. It's
the
engineer's way. Well, mechanical engineers anyway.
Yep. I used some kind of like modern digital construction that, with like power and circuitry and stuff like that as an electrical engineer.
But then you used it to power a mechanical system, which would...
no, I just shot lightning at it.
All right, yeah. That's a classic thing that electricians do.
Yeah, shooting lightning.
All the best ones shoot lightning.
Shooting lightning and sleeping with bulls, yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of the old ancient Greek reference.
Yeah. If anyone wants to look that one up, then you'll become more cultured.
I've now I've exerted myself, so this is my reward. So I'm going to go in for a tasting.
Waiting for you to see the light.
Yeah, that is very nice.
Yeah.
That's very smooth.
Yeah.
It's like 57%, 58%. It's quite like, I mean, I did this when I went to the whiskey event, which is unfortunately now cancelled for indefinitely because of Rona. But when I went to the whiskey event and you had to guess where whiskies came from or what they were, I wasn't very good at it. But this tastes like a sherried one.
Yeah, it does. Also, do we know where Wolfburn is?
Furlough.
Oh yeah, so it's a Highland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most normally one. But this is like, it's definitely got that kind of Christmas cakey, raisiny. It's definitely quite creamy. Almonds maybe, yeah.
In the back end, it's a sort of blend of those sort of creamy flavors. That's what I say. It's like you could say it was dark chocolate, but it'd have to be like a pretty low cocoa, like a 50% or something.
Yeah, that's
like
very good.
More milky than dark.
So I'm going to put for the tasting lots of sherry like flavors. So raisins and Christmas cake. Because I'm putting sherry like, because obviously it's not sherried.
No.
Very smooth.
Yeah. I could get dangerously drunk drinking that because it's so easy to drink.
Yeah, very smooth.
And it's 60% alcohol. You're close to just drinking like nail polish remover.
Low cocoa, dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Finish. What would you say and score on that one?
Well, I mean, it's better than the last one, so in my opinion, subjectively, I'd say 4.5. It's missing a couple of the key things which would make a 5 for me, but
it's not got the tannins. I'm easy on a 4.5 on that.
Yeah.
And I put for the last one, I put very easy drinking. So for this one, I'm going to put very, very easy drinking.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay. Let's lead on to the third one. Hand over to you. Tell us what we've got.
I will do. So up next, we've got the Benriach Cask Strength Batch 2. So underwhelmingly, Benriach is Gaelic for Dreary Mountain. Sounds like a positively spectacular place. That's excellent Scottish.
Well, it's like that dwarven song, isn't it?
Well, it's rainy in Scotland all the time, isn't it? So
Misty Mountain, Dreary Mountain.
Yeah. So lucky for us, this absolute whopper of a cask strength release is triple cask matured in bourbon, Oloroso sherry, and virgin oak casks, and is as far from dreary as it gets. At this strength, it is well worth adding a few drops of water to take the edge off the alcohol hit, allowing you to explore the flavours properly. So I'll probably go in raw, and then I'll maybe, when I'm about halfway through, add some water.
I've poured half in, and then I'm going to add water to the second half, and we'll do a comparison.
Sounds like a good plan. Getting all the pro tips here.
Aye. That's us.
Yeah,
pro tips. Right, okay, what we got on the nose and the palate and all the other good places?
Well, on the nose, you can expect toffee apple, apricot, and orange blossom with a ginger spiced barley zing. And then moving into the tasting, the palate will be creme caramel and milk chocolate surround sugared. Oh no, wait! It says creme caramel and milk chocolate surround sugared almond, and ripe nectarine glazed with lime, finishing with a finish of honey and vanilla with candied peel and green apple. So we're looking at a fruity, bright, sherried whiskey, I think.
I remember we had a discussion about toffee apples, and you don't like them much.
I don't mind them. My issue is just that
you get through the toffee bit, and then it's just an apple.
Partly that it's kind of a waste, and also like I'm not like it's a caramel apple, really.
Yeah,
and it's just weird.
I think me and you, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but me and you are both from that's like the generation that's slightly before when the UK really embraced Halloween.
Yeah, more or less. Like I did trick or treating, but it was sort of.
I think I did trick or treating like twice, and as a young kid, and basically on my own. My parents were very much like, "That's an American holiday."
Yeah,
and
I'd say like there was a lot of people. I'd also have to point out that I grew up in Aberdeenshire, and in Aberdeen, due to the industry that fuels their economy, there is a lot of American influence and Americans.
Fair.
So,
yeah, whereas I'm from some town in South Yorkshire, and there's no one except people from South Yorkshire there.
Yeah.
I mean, my friends got a lot into Halloween, but they were a lot more Americanized than I am. I think it was because they spent more time watching TV and I spent more time gaming. But yeah, like now in Britain, I'd say Halloween's a pretty big deal. It's still not Christmas, but
I'd say I'm more interested in it as an adult than I was as a child, because as an adult, it's like a good excuse for a party.
Yeah. And me and you quite like dressing up for stupid reasons as well.
There is that.
Where is that?
Shout out our friend who brought their partner around and we dressed up for no reason other than that.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I get what you mean. I think that's why I quite like toffee or caramel apples, though. It was like the one bit of Halloween that I could enjoy. Because I wasn't really dressing up and I wasn't going trick-or-treating. But there was... It's almost like it's from the older thing, like the Harvest Festival thing. Because I feel like toffee apples aren't so much Halloween, the more...
That's an autumn thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so I guess that kind of felt more...
Same with like bobbing for apples and that.
Exactly. It felt more authentic rather than an American thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking nonsense. I do just like sugar and apples.
That probably helps.
Yeah.
The other issue I have is that you don't know what kind of apple you're going to get until you're through.
Fair point. Yes.
You're going to get a tart Granny Smith.
I have had a great bite through and it's just dry apple. It's like, this is crap.
Decent Brayburn. Or are you going to end up with like a pink lady? Or...
I'm going to have to like fight you. Brayburn is best apple.
That's what I mean. Like, sometimes you get bad Brayburns.
You said decent Brayburn. Brayburn is like top tier.
Brayburn is the best apple, 100%. It's also only seasonal, which makes it even better. Because
I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Right. So, do you want to talk about whiskey again?
Yeah. Back to that.
So one of those.
Packs a punch, yeah?
I definitely get the boiled sweet kind of, like barley sugars.
All right, like that would probably be the apricot and like
spiced barley zing, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe a bit of the blossoms.
Yeah, and the toffee apple kind of
usually like boiled sweets
caramelized
are
sugar, that kind of stuff. Caramelized sugar, I would say.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going in for a flavour, so fill the air.
Oh, I already tasted it. It packs a punch.
Packs a punch. Go on then.
Sorry.
Okay.
I thought you were.
Yeah. It wakes you up.
Yeah, it's like, definitely strong.
Yeah, it's like the last one in terms of it's definitely sherried. Although the last one wasn't sherried, but it's got those sherried flavours. It kind of develops. This one, for me, the nose and I'm gonna use this like a fancy person word here. The nose to the palate is very organic. There's no clash.
Yeah.
You smell the like boiled sweets and the barley sugars and the caramelized sugar, and then you taste it, and it tastes exactly like you expect.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite rare for alcohols.
Quite a lot of time, yeah.
So
unless you're drinking,
I think the last couple I've done that. The fresh one definitely did. So
I think whiskey does it more often because it has so long to take on and smell such a high component of
flavour.
So, but yeah. I'm going to do the second half with water now just to test it out, because I will say this one is strong enough that the majority of what you get is, that's warming.
Yes, you get the alcohol burn. Yeah. Well, not burn, but the warmingness. Yeah, the alcohol burn. If I say alcohol burn, I don't mean like if you have a harshness.
Yeah.
I'm meaning that it does kind of dominate the flavours. Not in a bad way. I could quite happily drink that without water, but I do feel like I'm missing some of the flavours.
Yeah. I'm actually going to give it a minute for my mouth to recover as well before I like bang straight in, if you know what I mean.
Wow, very professional.
I can still feel the alcohol on my tongue.
Yeah, I'm going to have a swig of water.
That's what I meant by give it a minute.
So palate says creme caramel, milk chocolate, surround sugared almond, and ripe nectarine. Not sure I get the nectarine and lime, the kind of citrusiness. Not sure I get that, but we might do with this. So from the initial like unadulterated tasting, I definitely got the kind of the stuff that I like in a sherried whiskey. The caramelized sugar, the raisins. Maybe not the raisins actually, but definitely the caramelized sugar. It's definitely creamy, and it's definitely got our favourite wide mouthfeel.
So have you had your drops?
I have put some water in. I have not yet had a taste. Do you want to do a synchronized taste?
Okay. Dead air. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, now I get more fruitiness.
That made it blossom in my mouth more, having that water added in.
It's taking the burn off the top.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I get nectarine. I feel like more like apple-y, maybe.
It does say the finish is candied peel and green apple. So
yeah, there's definitely. Or is your favourite flavour pear?
Yeah, I just say that. Don't even know what pears taste like. Hate them.
Apples.
Yeah, they taste like less sweet apples. That's why I say it.
Exactly. So. Yeah. Sorry, I've forgotten every single time to actually write down the time we introduced each whiskey, and then each time I've gone back and been like, we probably talked about it about 5 minutes ago. So
just making your own workload harder.
Yeah, editing's going to be harder, but oh well. I ain't done it in a long time anyway.
I personally think that was better whiskey without the water.
Yes, I would actually agree with that. I liked the alcohol burn to it.
I think when the alcohol burn was taken off, the flavour of the whiskey wasn't as good.
It's still nice.
Yeah, but I think it
doesn't punch the same.
No, it lacks something when you do it like that.
Maybe we just added too much water because we ain't got droppers.
I have a single-use syringe.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which I found.
I think my other favourite hobby.
Yeah. No, I think I've got it for when I was doing. I had a cough and I got medicine, and then it didn't have a spoon in the bottle, and I was like, I actually don't have a teaspoon, just use a. So I was like, I can't really use a tablespoon to measure medicine when it says 1 teaspoon. So I got this because I said to the pharmacist, do you have any of the plastic spoons? And they're like, no, but if you take a plastic syringe, you can use that. And I believe, because it tells you the measurement, obviously, and I believe that it's single use only if you put blood in it. Is the reason it says that on the side.
Yeah, but I feel like it's okay if you use it on yourself every time. Right, so I've put packs a punch. Better without water, strong sherry flavours of caramelised sugar, water reveals more apple-y flavours. Any comments and scars?
I didn't enjoy that as much as the last two, so I think it's probably in a 3.5 range for me.
I would agree with that. But I think if that would have been the first one, it'd have been pushing for a 4. I think it suffered.
That's why I didn't go down to a 3.
It suffered
good
against the competition because the previous two have been really strong.
Yeah.
Really strong. All right, so it's on to me to introduce our first of a certain variety. Well, actually, a first of 2 different varieties. It's as different in 2 different ways, the next one. Let's have a swig of water and I'll introduce it.
I like how you sighed.
I probably gave it away slightly, didn't it? So this is the Tweedale Grain of Truth, wait for it, peated edition. So the 2 differences are 1, this is a single grain rather than a single malt that the previous ones have all been, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I like a lot of single grain whiskies, tend to be sweeter, but still very nice. And then peated. So this is our first peated one of the month or of the podcast, however often we record them, of the year. I like to keep my comedy stance of I hate all peated whiskies, but there has been some recently, I think in the last box especially, that weren't too bad. So either I'm
a 3 on 1.
I'm slowly becoming corrupted, or there's actually some decent peated ones out there. So I have not yet refused to try a whiskey of any kind, including peated ones, and I've had some very, very peated ones from what vaguely I can remember. from the whiskey festivals and Stramashes that we've been to.
We've definitely done like peat beast and stuff like that.
Yeah, so this will be no different. So the Tweedale Grain of Truth peated edition, as I say, aiming to prove that single grain can be every bit as good as single malt. This is believed to be the world's first ever release of a peated single grain Scotch, using a half-half mix of peated malted barley and wheat grain to produce a rich and complex dram. We'd say Tweedale did rather excellently. So
I have a question on this, right?
Right.
They use a peated malt.
Yeah.
And grain.
Yeah.
So is this like more or like a blend, but it's blended it's blended before the distillation, if you get what I mean.
Does a blend have grain whiskey in it generally? I can't remember.
Yeah, as a base.
I thought it did. So a blend is generally a mix of two.
Yeah, it's a grain with malts from all around, usually.
Yeah.
You can get a single blend probably if the grain and the malt were from the same place, but that seems odd.
Peated malt
but
barley.
To be called a single grain, in my opinion, would have implied it uses one grain, but that might be wrong. That might be my ignorance on grain.
At one place, doesn't it? So a single malt can use more than one malted barley, but as long as it's all done at one distillery.
I suppose a malted barley is a grain still.
Yeah.
So I'll allow it.
Oh,
I don't have to allow it. I don't have any authority on the situation, but you know.
So on the nose, apple and grassy notes, mixed in with a light smoky earthy note, hints of lemon and lime with a sweet smoke. With a second nose, which unfortunately I don't have, a sweet and creamy icing sugar and a spicy oaky note. This Tiger guy's got a second nose.
Yeah.
Wow. On the palate, we've got sweet and smoke, barbecue notes, fruity notes, chocolate and caramel, more berries and chocolate as it develops. The smoke and chocolate on the mid palate is lovely and rich. Wow, we only have like wide and narrow, never mind mid palate. And finish is a drying, oh, you might like this, slightly charred finish. So you like your tannins, so maybe this has got it with that drying.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Have you had a sniff yet?
It's very light on the... Okay, I'm getting a bit of smoke on the second nose in. But it's more like a barbecue smoke rather than a medicinal.
It smells almost like perfumey, if you get what I mean. Like a very, very, very musky.
Yeah, it's a very earthy smoke.
Yeah.
Rather than... See, what I don't like about peat, the medicinal thing, I don't know, it just... That sickly sweetness of the smoke when it's medicinal is just not for me.
I don't want to be that guy, but my prediction off of the nose is this might have a bit of that.
Yeah, I figure so. I'm not getting much medicinal smoke, but I am getting... There's definitely smoke in there.
I would say that's a pretty medicinal peat.
All right, here we go.
So
give your review. I'm going in for a taste.
I mean, it's actually... It's a very clean flavour on the palate, with the smoke sort of like engulfing it.
Yeah, the smoke comes through as a second stage. That's not bad until the smoke comes through.
I don't mind the smoke. It has a more barbecue-y flavour than I was expecting, but it's sort of the smoke, the peatiness sort of wavers between that smoked meats and medicinal. It's on the borderline for me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's not full-on medicinal.
No, but it's got elements.
Too medicinal for me.
It doesn't taste like a tire fire.
Yeah.
Tire spelled for Y, by the way, Americans. Like, just so you know.
Barbecue smoke on the nose. Very clean to begin with smoke. I like that engulfing. Smoke wavers between barbecue and medicinal.
It's like on the borderline.
Yeah. I'm going with your comments on that because you're our peat expert in this.
Yeah, somehow.
Compared to me.
I mean, it's because I know how to... It's because I can still enjoy a peated whiskey to an extent. That's what it is.
Once we get Lauren in.
I would say as well, on your comments of maybe you're being corrupted, I would say that you probably are, because as we do this more and more and end up having... I say having, like this is forced at gunpoint. But as we're introduced to more and more peat whiskies, my tolerance for the flavors in that profile goes up, and I begin to find, I don't know, some element of enjoyment in it. It's kind of, for me, like spicy food. So I've ruined myself by progressing my level of spices up to the point where I'm like, things that I consider mild or no spice, my mum can't eat. But
I mean, I had spicy tomato sauce. My parents sent me a care package, cook at home Bella Italia stuff. So it was 2 tins of sauce, some pasta, some linguine, and some breadsticks. And one of the sauces, was spicy tomato, and that was a struggle for me.
Yeah. And I just put a whole Scotch bonnet in my chili. And it was like mild. By my subjective opinion.
Nah, I couldn't do it. Like my nose was running. I mean, it was nice. I enjoyed it, but it gets to the end where it's actually painful to eat it.
After cutting up my Scotch bonnet as well, I touched my nose, which I shouldn't have been doing anyway because, Corona.
Yeah.
Oh, I've just demonetized this video. Damn.
Oh, no. All that income gone.
Yeah, but yeah, I was like, because as you say, well, I wasn't from eating it actually. I don't know if you know, but I'm pretty sure CS gas is essentially made from chilies.
Yeah, I think it is.
And when you cook chilies, the steam that comes off has a similar effect if you're like frying them down.
So you CS gas yourself?
Yeah, CS gas myself a bit. So
right.
My neighbours all think I've got, COVID-19 because I was coughing away last night as my flat was filled with
CS gas.
CS gas, or something similar.
Yeah.
Then my nose ran a little bit, as you would expect.
Yeah.
I'm used to it now because I cook with chili so often that it's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I also am stupid, so I forget that I've literally just been chopping up a Scotch bonnet and wiped my nose with my hand.
I did that with my eye once with a chili when I was chopping up some chilies.
Well, this is what I was going to move on to this story, which is that what I have learned, as stupid as I can be, is that what you want to do is chop the chilies after the onions. Because if you chop the chilies first, and then your eyes start to water whilst you're chopping the onions, naturally you're going to wipe that away.
I can't remember why I wiped my eye, but I wiped my eye for some reason. That hurt.
It's a bad idea.
Scores for this one. I'm going to go 2.5 because it's not bad, but it's still a peated one.
I don't think the peat particularly hurts it, but I wasn't that impressed with
the rest of it.
The underlying flavours, no. So I would probably give this a 3. It was a drinkable whiskey that was good, not great.
Fair. Okie dokie, do you want to introduce us to number 5?
I'm doing this one just because it's going glass off.
Because I did the last one.
Yeah, no.
And I'm actually going to record it this time. What time?
Have you got the time?
I have, yeah. Go on.
Oh,
I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing.
Getting good at recording.
Yeah, it took me to the 5th whiskey to remember.
Yeah, and lockdown just makes everyone better at stuff, right? We're all living our best lives, using our free time to definitely learn things and not just play video games and drink alcohol.
Yep. Bonjour. See.
Yeah. So the next up we have the Glenglassaugh Torfa. So joining the Tweedale in the not normally peaty club is Torfa. In contrast to Glenglashaugh's usual traditional Highland style, it has a phenolic medicinal character, atypical of the region. You're going to love it.
I am.
So, the nose is vivid, sweet, sooty campfire smoke and sea air, infuses zest of lime, apricot jam, and ripe soft fruits, all gently warmed by hints of stem ginger and cracked black pepper. The palate is an elegant, sweet coastal peat. Smoke engulfs candified peel over melon, pineapple, and roasted red apples. Oat biscuits, hints of heather, honey, and gentle cigar box spice, which is a lot of flavours. And the finish, a heady yet elegant harmony of distinct coastal peat and striking spiced fruit flavours.
So I was brave and went straight in for that.
Just smashed it.
Yeah,
I haven't drunk.
It's definitely got that more phenol, is a good way of describing it, smoke on the nose, but it's actually not too bad on the palate.
Yeah.
I think the extra alcohol strength cuts through quite a lot of the peatiness.
It probably does clean it up a little bit.
Yeah. So it ends as like it rather than it being like the whole flavour from bottom to top, because I imagine flavours from my mind flow upwards. I don't know why.
Fizzy lifting juice and rolled out.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of other things, but yeah. I think this one, the floor of the whiskey comes up. So instead of it being like a 40% floor, it's now a 50% floor. So that hides the blossoming bit of the peat, and instead of it being the I'm doing a lot of hand gestures here. Instead of it being like a wide blossoming peat, and then that kind of narrows as it flows up, it's just that narrow bit at the top. Which makes no sense. But
if you want a visually metaphor.
Yeah. So I imagine flavour is like, I guess like the top half of garlic. So it's like wide and then it comes in and then up. So only the strongest flavours get all the way to the end. You know what I mean? I guess it's like the top of a still. Yeah.
That's probably a more apt.
Yeah. You get all the flavours initially. They all hit you at once.
Yeah.
And then you get the stronger flavours kind of endure. With peated whiskey, my problem has always been that all you get the whole way through is peat. It dominates. It's a strong flavour. It dominates. This one, I think, it's weaker than the whiskey flavour because of the strength of the whiskey. So you get more of that other flavours and then the peat. And I can palate that more than normal.
I actually think that's quite nice. It does have that peat flavour, but it's very it's very muted.
Yeah, it's very much at the end.
It's like it's restrained. Like you can tell it's there always, but it's like held in until the end.
Yeah,
and then it's not like overpowering.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice. That is actually pretty nice. I get kind of chocolatey to begin with, to be honest.
Makes sense, I suppose. What does it say here? There's about 1 million flavours.
Every
so I can't
flavour
really remember
possible,
what it
doesn't
said.
it?
Yeah.
I don't think it says out about
stem ginger, cracked black pepper, stuff like that.
I don't get any of those, but I definitely get some kind of like chocolatey, that kind of sweetness.
Sorry, that was on the nose. There's like an oat biscuits, heather honey, and cigar box spice.
Biscuity maybe, but no, I feel like it was more a chocolatey sweetness rather than a fruity sweetness. That kind of more muted.
I think that's probably like a combination of like the biscuits and the cigar box spice flavors that they talk about.
Could be.
Like that. Don't know if you've ever smelled it, but have you ever smelled like rolling tobacco?
Yeah.
It has a kind of chocolatiness to it.
Yeah, I can give you that. So I've put smoke on the nose, chocolate beginning, and peat comes through lightly and develops.
Yeah. Not overpowering.
Not overpowering. What would you give that, and any further comments?
I'm still drinking it, and I'm actually, as I'm going through it, it's also got a creaminess to it. Like, like similar to the Wolfburn. It's got that sort of oily, that depth, if you know what I mean. I'd probably go to 3.5 for this one as well.
Okay.
This one, I think, without the peatiness, would be higher, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't feel like it affected.
I am going to give that a 3.5.
Yeah. I don't think
very
it
good for a
affected the
peated
Tweedale,
whiskey.
the peat. But yeah, I think the peatiness on this. Basically, what I just tasted in like my third sip,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want to taste that whiskey
Without the
peat,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
and it's probably dropped it down a bit for me, which is a shame.
We had a Glenglassaugh.
I think we have, yeah. I don't have the spreadsheet in front of me.
Fair point, but I'm not manually searching it.
That's Control F, but
All right, fine.
Quiz.
Jesus.
You don't have to.
No, it's too late now. Yes, we have. We had Glenglassaugh Revival in December 2019, and we gave it a 4, both of us.
So yeah, that's sort of what...
4. We gave it a 4 each, and it's 37 quid.
Not bad.
You put red wine casks for the win.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, that might be one to look at. I'm down to 36 bottles.
I had some wine at the start of lockdown, and I can confirm I am not a wine drinker. I just like tannins.
Fair.
Because I was like,
£33 now.
I was like, oh, I'll drink this wine. My parents had visited and they'd left behind a bottle of red, and we were in lockdown, and I was like on a video chat with my parents, and I thought, oh, I'll have a wine. And then the bottle was open, so I did drink it, obviously, because, not a wastrel. But I didn't not enjoy it, but it's definitely not as good as, tannins in whiskey.
£33 for a bottle now.
Is that Master of Malt?
Glenglassaugh Revival. They're donating £1 for every order to help people in hospitality affected by COVID-19. That's quite nice.
Yeah. Don't need to add for people who've got actual philanthropic values and stuff.
Yeah, so there you go. Go and buy yourself a bottle of whiskey from Master of Malt. It'll get you through the lockdown a bit quicker. You won't remember bits of it, at least, if you have it all.
Yeah.
And you're helping people who've been put out of a job through no fault of their own.
There we go.
Why not? Yeah. Or if you know a local pub or a place like that that's doing takeaway orders, support them instead.
Yeah, I heard recently that pubs have started doing deliveries of like cocktails and stuff.
Yeah, be more direct. You want them to be open when it's over. I know I do. Help them out. There's a lot of people out there who are out of work.
COVID might be exactly what we needed to save the pubs. The problem is the pubs have to survive COVID.
Yes. Don't order from Wetherspoons. They can die. The staff are fantastic, but Wetherspoons is a business, and the guy who runs it will hopefully die. But your local pubs and that, help them through it.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
I mean, Spoons does have the best selection of real ales in my town. But someone else could take over the pub and just do that, and it'd be fine.
And also treat the staff like human beings.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
And don't microwave your pizzas.
Yeah, but if you get Spoons for food.
Well, I mean, it's cheap, isn't it?
Well, that was always the annoying thing with my team when we did work dues. I'd be like, oh, we'll go to V-Shed or whatever it is down in Bristol, Spoons, and we'll get food there. It's like, why? Like, I learned as a student you don't go to Spoons for food.
Well, I mean, you do if you want cheap food.
No, you go to Lloyd's if it's the blooming mixed grill day, Tuesday, because it's cheap. You don't go to Spoons for food any other time. I mean, we're all blooming, like, young professionals and that. We're in Bristol.
Yeah, I get that. That I get. I mean, I would say, if you're not going for a gourmet meal or a celebration, if you're going to Spoons, it's just, more convenient than getting a ding dinner or whatever.
But you're in Bristol, down on the harbour side. There's plenty of places. That place that was quite expensive, but there's plenty of places around the harbour side that are not that expensive.
Just going on about being young professionals.
I know, but I'm saying
it was also worth every penny.
It was very good. Very good. Thank you to the recommendation from the Black Rock Whiskey Bar. I hope that's still open.
I'm pretty sure they'll survive.
I hope so. Right. Last whiskey, and the special whiskey as always. Is this one mine?
It is.
Cool. Pass it over then. So this is another boutique whiskey co. Blend number 5, batch 1, aged 21 years. Boutique likes to tease us with their creative illustrated labels. We don't get to see that, but okay.
Hinting at the back, but
what?
There's a picture of the.
Oh yes, there is. I apologise, Chris. Hinting at the undisclosed origins of the contents. After some serious sleuthing, we discovered an astounding pedigree for this rather special blended malt. A combination of malts from famous Scotch brands Macallan and Glenlivet, with some Altmore thrown in for good measure. With all the component malts aged 21 years or more, this 6 dram really means business. Wowzers. So on the nose, you've got freshly baked cookies, honeyed toast, orange. I could do some cookies right about now. That's the problem with doing this review.
What?
I get drunk, and then I get hungry.
I'm fine. I don't have any snacks in the house anyways.
Neither do I, and that's why I'm annoyed. I could go.
End up eating more chili.
I just don't need to order another blooming waffle, like 1,000 calorie waffle. I really don't need that.
What, like £8 delivery or something?
Yeah, it was worth it though.
I was like, oh look, there's a new place on Just Eat the other day, and it was a pizza place, and like I live quite rurally, so my Just Eat normally consists of 5 restaurants, even outside of COVID time. So I was like, oh, a pizza place, and I mean like of my 5 restaurants, there's like 4 Indians and a place that does Indian food, kebabs and pizzas. So like, you know, it's Indians. But this place, I was like, oh, a pizza place. Maybe I'll go and get a pizza. Why not? And then I went on, and I seen the delivery price was £8, and the minimum order was like £12. And I was like, there's very few pizzas in the world. Like, even if you went to Napoli, there's very few pizzas that are worth £20.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I imagine that's not one of them as well.
Yeah.
So
I didn't.
On the nose, we've got freshly baked cookies, honeyed toast, orange. The palate is nutty barley, kumquat, mango, heavy butterscotch, and phyllo pastry. And the taste, subtle burnt oak smokiness. So, nose.
Got one for you. It
Very
says
sweet.
Orange. I'm going to say tangerine because I can.
I'll go nectarine then.
Yeah. I actually think it does just have that general citrus vibe.
Yeah, there's a citrusy sweetness to the nose.
Just burnt out my nose 2 seconds.
I'm not getting cookies.
It's sort of there, but like, it's like an undercurrent. It's just bready.
Yeah.
Underneath the
bacon,
orange. Yeah, like a baked goods. Which is obviously,
so
as we've said before, a lot of this is there's like general brackets of.
Yeah, it's artistic license.
Profiles. So yeah, so you have like a kind of baked smell, a kind of winter fruits, summer fruits, dried fruits, citrus fruits. Those are sort of brackets of fruit. And yeah, the Christmas cakes, the caramels, the chocolates, they're all.
So it's quite nutty. I would definitely get nutty. Yeah. I'm not sure I get kumquat and mango. Butterscotch? Yeah, but maybe like burned butterscotch. It's a little bit on the bittery side.
That might just be the subtle burnt oak smokiness.
That develops right at the end. There's a very mild smokiness right at the end. Very mild.
It's quite pleasant, though, I'd say this. Like, it's complex.
I think complex is a good word. Complex.
Moves around the mouth, if you know what I mean.
Citrus, sweetness. Yeah, on the nose. Lots of flavours on the palate.
The phyllo pastry comment is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can kind of get where they're coming from, but I would never have thought of describing it as that.
Well, that's why they're better than we are.
Yeah. It's kind of that. That's kind of that buttery creaminess. If you know what I mean. There's
like a full butter pastry kind of thing.
Yeah, it's been in like that sort of flavour that I'm assuming is what they're calling the phyllo pastry. It's been in a couple of these.
Yeah, maybe that's a new one for us.
Yeah.
To remember.
I'll have to eat more pastries. Drat.
Oh no.
Yeah, no.
For research.
Whiskey is ruining my life because I have to eat all these pastries.
Doing this for work.
Yeah.
Why aren't you on your emails? I'm working from home. So
Yeah.
like in a co-op, just eating all the baked goods.
Not paying for them.
No.
Did I ever tell you about the time when I was a very young, like, early teens, maybe like mid-teens, if like on that side, 14, 15.
Yeah.
I think we were going to see The Matrix or The Matrix Reloaded.
That's
or
like
something.
1999, 2000, something like that.
Reloaded was a bit. It would have been one of the sequels,
Right.
I think. But yeah, went to the cinema and a friend of mine started eating the pick and mix. And,
From the pick and mix.
Yeah. So obviously they weren't happy about that.
Yeah.
And they threw us out, but which is understandable. But we had no complaints. In fact, the only person we had complaints with was said friend who was eating the pick and mix. But we couldn't be too mad at him because when the person in there says, "What do you think you're doing?" he says, "I'm checking them for poison."
Yeah.
Just this like 14-year-old kid.
Yeah. Do you think there'll ever be pick and mix ever again after all this?
What? They have it in supermarkets now, so.
Okay, so let's finish this.
I get what you mean, but they have it with like. To be fair, yeah, people are going to be sketch about. I wonder what's going to happen to all these businesses where it's like bring your own container that have been popping up to try and help reduce plastics, which is a noble enough cause.
I can imagine they'd actually be pretty successful now because people trust their own stuff more.
Yeah, but I assume that you have to then spoon it in yourself.
Yeah.
So someone else's hand's been scooping it out. They're going to have to get like...
Buffets are going to be awkward as well, aren't they? Man, they were already...
If they don't have a sneeze guard, don't eat the buffet, people.
Yeah. Or if it's cooked, maybe don't eat it. Like...
Chinese buffet's alright.
Yeah, well, okay. It's like Zaza's Bazaar is nice, but I'm a bit sketchy on just to shit on on a business. But it's I mean I've never got ill. I've been there twice. I've never got ill. It's very nice. I'm not trying to say it, but I'm always a little bit wary.
I think I went there one time with my parents and it was all good.
Kublai Khan's or whatever it was that we went to.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great, and that I trusted more because they cooked it.
Yeah. I missed that place. I'm really pretty gutted that they shut both the Edinburgh and Glasgow joints.
I'm pretty good. I'd have gone back there. Bob, we can travel again.
Yeah.
It's going to be like olden times. We're going to have to hike it all the way. It's going to be days to get places.
Yeah. Be like, all right, we're just going to do the 35 miles or whatever it is to...
Yeah, to the next inn.
Yeah. Be like doing the West Highland Way just to go up the road.
Yeah. Right. What would you score that?
I quite enjoyed that. I'm probably on like a 4.5 on that. I've still got one last sip left, so I'm gonna come back to me in a minute, and I'll tell you what
I've gone for a 3.5 just because I don't like it as much as the first two. That's purely the reason. It's a nice whiskey, but it's not as good as the first two.
I like it. I think it's probably on a. But this is my issue. I'm not sure if it's in between them, and then should I be generous? I don't think it's a 4.5. I'm going to give it a 4.
A 4. Any final comments?
Just that it's not really a comment on the whiskey, more so that I was interested by the phyllo pastry flavour comment, basically.
Yep.
But also, I don't know what a kumquat tastes like.
I think I've had one once in my life, but yeah.
Showed my unculturedness. Probably just tastes like banana or something. We should just say that.
Yeah. Okay. So, as you brought us in, I guess I'll bring us out.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be another roughly hour-long one. Sorry, guys. We are trying to shorten them down. And if you
I think it's respectable for us to take around 45 minutes to an hour to drink 6 measures of.
Yeah, we're not trying to get smashed and just be stupid. You'll notice the last one I think was a bit tighter, but yeah, we're getting back in the saddle. Yeah. Hopefully, very shortly after recording this one, both will be uploaded to our channel, and hopefully you enjoy them. And as always, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. suggest any whiskies you think we'd like. Suggest any whiskies you think we'd hate. It'd always be funny to try one that's extremely peaty.
I mean, I think at some point in the future we might start adding in. You can not another shout out for Master of Malt. We're not sponsored, as I've always said, but you can make your own tasting box. So it's entirely possible we might start adding that in if we can get this down to actually being regular. At some point, we might try and go fortnightly. I don't know.
Who knows? Let us know anyway. As always, we appreciate the feedback. It's nice to get engagement.
Yep.
And hopefully you're all bearing up quite well in quarantine and isolation, and your family and your loved ones are doing fine.
And make the most of your daily exercise, but don't take the piss like people have been doing over these last.
Yeah, don't be going out sunbathing and that. You're just keeping us all in longer.
Yeah. If you want to enjoy the good weather, you have to let the government let us out.
Yeah, all be sensible, and we'll be out of this nice and early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay home, stay safe.
Exactly. Look after yourselves. We need you to listen to us.
Yeah, all 10 of you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cheerio.